What's up, beautiful people? Fighting Sloth here, representing Starterfight Esports as always. A little bit of different content from the streaming and gaming today. We are going to be comparing mouse pads. Specifically, I have here, this is the Skypad 2.0 XL. This has been my trusty mouse pad for the last 2 years. Before the Skypad, I was always on hard pads. I had a Razer hard pad or a Logitech hard pad before that. So my experience with material pads is all before I sort of got more interested in like advanced aim technique and became a bit more of a sweat, basically. So representing the cloth corner, we have the Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn Pro Black Edition XL. So this is the first high quality cloth pad I've ever had, actually. So for the testing, I'm using the Endgame Gear OP1 8K. On the Skypad, I have Obsidian Pro dots. I just use 4, 1 in each corner. For the Saturn Pro, I'm using the spare set of stock skates that came with the OP1 8K. My main game is Apex Legends. So I play on 1600 DPI, 0.65 in-game, 110 FOV. So across the board, all the games I've been playing and all of the testing and aim trainers is all done on those settings. Before we start, I want to give 2 shout outs. Firstly, to Heady Shots by Dirt on Instagram. He made a generous donation in my stream, which is actually why I could do this. It sort of gave me a bit of extra money so I could go out, splurge a little on getting like a different type of mouse pad purely just for testing. So I will be forever appreciative of that. And second is to Shady HD, that Skypad 2.0 that I've been using for the last 2 years. He purchased for me. So he knew I loved my hard pads. He knew I used them and I wouldn't pay for, the Skypad was a bit expensive, especially back then. So he purchased that for me. So he's a kick streamer and you're also on YouTube, Shady HD. Make sure you check him out. He's a beautiful person. Speaking of pricing, in Australia, you can get the Saturn Pro for about $90 from Oz Mod Shop. The Skypad 3.0 is $150. So there's a pretty big price difference there. Just take that into consideration. We'll have a few clips at the end from the Skypad and the Saturn Pro next to each other, so you can sort of see for yourself the aim. And let's get on to the testing. Okay, so here we're looking at the first of 2 exercises, which is Bounce 180 Man Wing. This is three separate sessions of 3 runs on each mouse pad. So 9 on the Skypad, 9 on the Saturn, 18 in total. So this exercise was to look at flicking. So the 2 high scores are, well, very close. This was surprising to me that I didn't really see any gain. I did start off a lot slower on the Skypad, but the peak was about the same. I suppose you could say overall it went better on the Saturn Pro, but not as much of a difference as I would expect. So to me, this shows me that to improve is most likely a technique issue specific to the exercise. Like I could improve my shot selection, which targets I go for, most likely. So very even here, which is unfortunate for me because I feel like flicking is a very weak part of my aiming and what I was hoping to improve. But now we're going to get onto the really interesting stuff. So the other scenario we've done, this is probably the scenario I've done the most in Kovaaks. I use it. It's a great warm-up for Apex Legends because you have to move while tracking a target. So that's perfect for getting ready for a game like Apex Legends. Again, 9 runs on each, over 3 separate days on each. So this is very interesting, guys. So this was my last day with the Skypad around here. And I thought the Skypad is not going down without a fight. This was a new high score, followed the very next run by beating that high score. This is a high score that I've held for a very long time. I think I was around 250 in the world on this one. Things on the Saturn Pro started poorly. And I thought, well, this is just how, this just shows. Then we break the high score. Take a couple of days off where I just play Apex, no aim training, come back. Look, we have absolutely smashed the high score. I'm going to put the video of the run right now. Wow. Okay. Top 200, baby. So this has blown me away. This is the most surprising thing about everything. I don't understand. Let me put my camera back on. I don't understand how I'm able to beat these scores. I have to say, during the run, it feels worse. But we're not going based on feel, we're going based on the score. So, despite there being resistance on movements, I'm going to have to do a lot more research into this. I'm planning on... I wanted to do 4 exercises, but that would double the time, and I'm a bit time poor because of my dedication to streaming. So, I wanted to add in more. What I'm probably going to do, how I'm going to work this out, is I'm going to go take this Saturn Pro into other tracking scenarios, different tracking scenarios. We'll probably do some sphere track, a couple other scenarios that I've done before. So it's not going to be recent Skypad scores. It's going to be against my older Skypad scores. But we're going to see whether in different tracking scenarios it does hold up, because this is very interesting. To me, the Skypad is the god of tracking, which I love to do. As an aimer, that's what I pride myself in, is my tracking. The Skypad feels better during a run. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I feel like I don't maintain the target as well. But clearly I do, because I wouldn't be getting these scores if I wasn't on the target more. So we're going to do some more testing. This has changed up the whole order of the video, so the video might be taking a little bit longer to get out. But this is just to give you guys an idea of the scores. So we did Amphi LG 1v1 for the tracking. The Saturn Pro came out on top. We did Bounce 180 Man Wing. Again, the Saturn Pro came out on top. Not convincingly, I would say, on this one. Although overall, yes. Yeah, and there could be different things, but we'll talk about that at the end of the video. So thank you guys so much. All right. So I had to do the run to get the score looking the way that I wanted it to for the video. So I'm just going to explain after the results we had in the Kovaaks scenarios, the 2 exercises that I had chosen to do. I feel it needed further testing, particularly on tracking. So I've jumped over to Aimlabs now. We're doing one of the exercises that I've done the most on Aimlabs, which is Sphere Track 90. This is all pure tracking. Yeah, no movement, just purely mouse tracking. I wanted to see how it would go. Now, I will say my scores begin here. So this was the beginning of that, of the lethal gaming gear. The average has gone up for sure. I had to do this one, which I sort of rushed, but that's all right. The average is definitely increased over my time with the Skypad. This is almost like an outlier, this score here. Like, this was such a good run. So being in this area, around this ballpark, around 100,000 is really impressive for, a cloth pad to be holding up. It does beat my previous highest and around that ballpark twice. All the scores before here were like a lot lower. So average has been rising and pretty impressed. This was like potentially like an outlier run where, things just worked out well. But I could see that I could beat it with enough attempts, I believe. So yeah, again, the Saturn Pro scores really well here. I'm going to jump over and do Motiontrack, which is the other scenario that I've been testing on, and I'll be back with you guys in a second. Alrighty. So as you can see, that one incorporates a little bit of flicking. So it's sort of like you hit the center target, you go on track, and then you go back. It's almost like a flicking action to get back to the center accurately and stop. That final score's just thrown a little spanner in the fucking works. These were my scores from the Saturn Pro. That's actually the best score I've done, which is hilarious because I've just done a stream. I feel extremely tired and I assumed it was going to be bad. So it's up there. It's very close to my best score, which was 61,763, not this score over here. So what we've seen is I'm not giving up anything in terms of tracking when I'm using the Saturn Pro, which is very surprising to me. I did think I could excel in this as it somewhat incorporated flicking. So that's been the surprise package of this whole thing for me, is that the tracking is just as good and the flicking is not really better, at least for my aim technique. So for right now, I have to put a big W on the Saturn Pro. I've been blown away by the tracking on this mouse pad. What the next steps will be is I'm going to go back to the Skypad. I'm going to do a bit more testing. I'll order some more skates. As things stand, I believe I'll be ending up on the Saturn Pro. I'm not going to argue with the results. And if I'm not giving up tracking, I feel like potential improvements are going to come easier to me on the Saturn Pro than on the Skypad. So as it currently stands, I'm putting the Saturn Pro as the winner. I'm planning on going to it. I will be going back to the Skypad in the meantime to do a bit more experiments. I'll let you know in the comments if anything changes. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the first time I've done a video like this. I would love to become sort of like a peripheral tester because I'm very passionate. I love mice in particular. I've owned a lot of mice, but I haven't done any videos on them. So, you know, if streaming goes well and sort of there becomes a bit more money, then I would definitely look at getting into more sort of peripheral testing, and we'll make things a lot more streamlined if that was the case. But as this goes, this is just a one-off. Sorry, it was a little bit all over the place. You know, I'm a streamer predominantly, not big on like the video planning. But I hope that you got some information out of this. If you're looking at comparing between glass and cloth. So until next time, guys, jump over into my streams if you have any questions about this video. I'm always at kick.com/fightingsloth, and also I stream on YouTube pretty often. But you can always find me at Kick. So get on over there if you have any questions, or you want to talk, if you want to nerd out on mice or mouse pads. Much love, you guys. I hope this has been informative. Till next time. I'm fucking him, bro. Where is he?
I did decent damage. Shot? Nice. Oh, you're so much better.
Oh my fuck!
There are other teams already here. I'm blocked up. He's done so much damage.
Dang him, bitch. Let's go! Nice aim.